What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Captain America Civil War Spoilercast. Wow. That's all I have to say. I am not Jobadiah Stain. I'm Josiah Leroy. I know the resemblance is uncanny. With me, a major Spoilercast today, Jeff Pawlak. Gene is back. Holy crap. Woo woo! And Captain America himself, Seth Zielinski over there.
Hey, how you doing? As it turns out, Cap has some pretty bad astigmatism, so...
It's okay, so does Jobadiah and Tony. So
yes. These are just fashion. Tony's just that
aren't
impressed.
you a little show off?
Yes, I am.
Tony Stark here, Nicholas Ramirez, Jimbo, Trevor, and welcome back, Sam!
Yes!
Finally! All of these.
We all sing welcome back.
He wasn't excited about us.
It's a good crew.
This is a very good crew. We're missing Grumpy today. We're missing Beta, unfortunately. Not really missing Brunner, but that is what it is. So, as we like to start off all these spoiler casts, you have 2 thumbs. What do you do? Did you like this or not? You can do this. You can do. Grumpy did this last time.
No, he went like this.
Yeah, like what the frig does that mean?
Can I do 1 thumb?
You can
No,
do.
you have to do
you have to decide to do something. So everybody,
okay.
3, 2, 1.
Yahoo!
Wait a second.
Oh,
everybody has 2 thumbs up except. Okay, wait.
Except
I can
Pog.
see.
Well, yeah. Here.
No, you're
do
doing the
this
Pete.
I'll do this one.
Okay, hang on. So
that equals 1 thumb up, 1 thumb
okay.
down.
Sam and I got the right idea.
now we're all jumping on the bandwagon. So let's start off.
Take you out.
Nicholas, you gave us the actual review for it, the official review for the Geekiverse.com. Spoiler alert, we are going to a lot of spoilers here today, so spoiler. Do not watch this if you have not watched the film, unless you just like us more, which doesn't make any sense at all. So, I scored it a 10 out of 10, a perfect 10.
Did.
Now, a 10 in the Geekiverse doesn't necessarily mean it is a perfect film, but it's just about as good as any film can get, it sounds like. Let me read one quote from it. Nick said, when something comes along in a genre that so circumvents expectation and formula, when it speaks to its audience in such a manner that it makes them think at the same time as making them feel and resting on the edge of their seat, I can't help but say it's a must-see. Elaborate, what are your thoughts on this movie?
Well, all right. So, like you said, perfect score doesn't mean perfect film. No film's really perfect.
Correct.
You know, but with this movie, we got a lot of unexpected twists, a lot of changes to the genre and tropes that we are familiar with, especially with the ending. You know, the ending for it, traditionally in these let's you and him fight scenarios for comic books or comic book movies, we all know how it happens. They meet, they fight, and then they find a bigger bad, they team up, fight them, and yay, we're friends, you know, or they find out their mothers have the same name.
Yes.
However, with Captain America Civil War, we're all expecting, you know, the big fight to be them versus the 5 Winter Soldiers and Zemo, and no, the big fight was Tony loses it and decides he's going to kill the Winter Soldier and pay as revenge for his mom, and it really ends with them completely fractured. And I really admired that they were willing to do that instead of having, you know, some nice little bow tying up everything at the end. It really left the Avengers as completely broken up, and the villain won.
I felt like there was no cliche that was crazy in this. Felt like it was pretty original for the most part. I do want to go to a few of you who had the not so thumbs up. Jeff, what is any holdback or any reason for holdback with this?
There are 2 things in particular. First one I'm going to cover is Baron Zemo. Baron Zemo...
Well, not Baron Zemo. In this. Just Zemo.
Just Zemo, whatever. Zemo felt like a James Bond, Jason Bourne hybrid armed with the film script. His plan worked way too perfectly for me to even remotely believe it. How did he find out who the UN's interviewer was going to be for Bucky? No explanation whatsoever. He just somehow breaks in, finds the guy, and is able to dress up as him, and nobody questions it. How did he know that Tony was going to be the only one coming with Bucky and Cap to the bunker? Because if anyone else shows up with there, that whole video where he then shows the big surprise, Bucky killing Mr. and Mrs. Stark, that doesn't have as much impact because someone could then subdue Tony, or tell him, hey, that was Bucky, that was mind controlled.
But why do you assume everyone would take Cap's side in that?
Because by that point, everybody realized that Cap was right about what was going on. They were all being played by Zemo.
Okay.
Even Tony had to admit it at that point, that he messed up. I just didn't like that it felt so perfect how it was brought together. I mean, if Tony doesn't sit down and talk to Falcon, he has no idea where Cap and Bucky are going. But somehow Zemo knew that. Somehow Zemo knew that he was going to talk to Falcon and figure out where that bunker was going to be. It just felt way too perfect, way too convenient to bring these guys together. To
You don't feel like he was leading them to that bunker? It felt like it.
How was Tony going to find out, though?
Well,
Without sitting down and talking to Falcon.
hold on to that thought. I have a little more to go into on that.
Sure.
Gene, so again, you're in the same boat.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff that Jeff just said, I didn't even think about, but now that he mentioned it, it really does. But it didn't feel like a Captain America movie. I don't feel it deserved the title Captain America Civil War. It should have been Avengers Civil War. Just because it had Bucky in it, I know some of you feel that Bucky makes it a Captain America movie, but, in a large ensemble cast like that, it shouldn't have been a Captain America labeled.
I disagree. I think it was, at its heart, a Captain America movie because of the root of this whole thing. And I think, even though the Sokovia Accords tend to take the center stage on the split between the Avengers, I feel like it keeps coming back to Cap. And despite its large cast, it's something I was admittedly worried about in the lead up to this, that it was going to not feel like a Captain America movie. I think they still got it to feel that way for me. It's just my opinion. Sam, I know you feel the opposite. You're the other person I wanted to talk to on this.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Well, I know it's not a very popular opinion, but I don't really like that. I like Spider-Man, and I like that they're going to be adding him in, but I felt like he had no real integral role in this film. Like, they're like, oh, hey, we just need your help to subdue Cap. But I was like, there's just this kid who was like, oh, yeah, I'm finally going to get a suit and stuff, and I didn't feel like he was an Avenger. I felt like he had no place there. He was never brought into it. This wasn't his fight, and Tony just brought him in. I felt like they should have done a Spider-Man movie, then brought him in.
It almost felt like he was just kind of like a comic relief in one of the most,
well, him and
integral
Paul
parts.
Rudd were the comic reliefs. Paul Rudd was great. I loved his part in it, but that's because you had his backstory. I know there's been 4 or 5 different Spider-Man movies, or you know
5,
what I mean?
yep.
Yeah. I felt like they could have done this movie, and then when shit really hit the fan, then they could have they did his movie and then brought him in. I felt like that would have been better.
I think time-wise, in Disney and Marvel and Sony's world, they couldn't have because they got the rights so late. Because this movie was just about to hit production, right? So it was kind of a last second-ish thing. I see your point, but I think logistically they couldn't have. By the time that they were able to work out a deal with Sony and bring Spidey back into the family, I'm not sure it worked. I kind of like how they did it because now Spider-Man may be my most anticipated movie of next year. And I've always liked Spider-Man, but now I'm ready to go. So I like all these takes on it. Jamie, what did you like about this movie? This was your most anticipated movie of the year from our little video cast we did at the beginning of the year.
Yes, it was. Okay.
Give us the bullet points.
What did I like?
Oh, so you hated
Why
it.
am I on the spot? Why do I feel on the spot? I was so prepared with things that I had issue with for some reason. Not ready for what to do.
Okay, this is not the BVS spoiler cast. We'll come back to you. Trevor, what did you like about Civil War?
Black Panther, obviously. Black Panther is awesome. I really liked Spider-Man. I am going to disagree with you. I really liked that we didn't have a repeat of his origins. And especially with Black Panther, how they just kind of had a 5-minute thing of, oh yeah, this is the king of Wakanda, and then this is his son, and the father dies, and it just kind of went by really fast. But since he's kind of a secondary character as far as not a lot of people knew about him from the beginning, I think that they did that really well, and it turned out awesome.
I agree.
So with Spider-Man, I don't think that they really needed a huge backstory.
Listen, I don't really know what happens to Uncle Ben, so
Spoiler, he dies.
But with
wait a second.
A lot.
After he makes right.
Spoiler.
I've ruined it for everybody.
Jeez.
You're welcome.
with Black Panther,
This isn't a spoiler cast, Nick.
Homecoming on
I,
Redbox or something.
I felt like with Black Panther, it was kind of it wasn't really a surprise to the other Avengers when he took off his helmet and revealed that it was T'Challa. They were just kind of all
You disagree.
Oh, hey, what's up?
No, I disagree.
Yeah.
Hold on to the Black Panther thoughts. 2 more. Seth, what do you like about Civil War?
Overall thoughts.
Or Mr. Rogers, I should say.
Yeah, of course.
What did you like about your movie?
Well, I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can, but I feel like it's everything that I want out of a Marvel movie at this point in the MCU. It combines all of what I think the MCU has done best so far. It has the Captain America movie thing, which, you know, I agree with Nick that I think the Captain America movies are the best Marvel movies. I even like First Avenger better than the first Avengers. It's a Captain America movie, plus it's kind of an Avengers movie that, you know, it like encapsulates. It's an entire look at the MCU right now, with the exception of a couple, you know, Thor and Hulk, and plus it has a very well done emotional arc through it all. It somehow, I know I tweeted about this, that it somehow has all of that going on, and you know, more characters than Avengers, more of an emotional story, and it somehow gave everything enough attention, and nothing really, to me, felt underdeveloped. So that's in a nutshell why I think Civil War is great.
Very good. Jimbo, come back to you.
Okay, so now that I've gathered some
Okay.
thoughts.
Okay, Loki.
All right. I like the way they set up with the after credit scenes, the way they set up Spider-Man and Black Panther for the future. That was awesome.
Wait, there
And
was 2
There
after
were
credits?
2.
Yes.
Oh, stop it! Stop it!
No!
You're kidding.
No!
You didn't
Only G.
No!
Have you not been to a Marvel movie?
I did! There's only ever been one!
No.
No.
There's always like
Hey,
2.
How many have you missed?
Spoiler alert. There's most frequently 2.
Gene.
Oh, man.
I'm leaving.
Stop it! Oh, you're kidding.
How
right
many
now.
scenes have you missed in all then?
Okay, that's your homework. Go rank all the extra
So you
scenes.
just leave halfway through the credits?
Don't at a Marvel movie.
Everyone else
It's
reads the
amateur.
He doesn't even stay for
Yeah,
the credits.
listen.
He just is like, oh, that's the ending, and out he goes.
Once he sees the ending monologue, he just kind of walks out. Like,
Yeah.
There's the kind of people that get up as soon as the credits roll. And
You
you're
know
like,
what?
Stupid!
I did that. I was laughing at those people. I was
Hold
like,
on.
you idiots, this is a Marvel movie. There's going to be a credit. There's going to be a scene.
There's the people.
And then I saw the Wakanda.
However.
I saw the Wakanda, and I got up, and I was like, well, that's it.
There's
Get
people.
out of here. I really gotta pee.
Let's go.
God.
There's those kind of people, then there's the kind of people that leave after the first scene. Congratulations, my friend. Oh no!
Oh, man.
That train got derailed.
Good old G.
That always happens to me. Remember BVS?
Time for a word from our sponsors. We have mugs now, by the way. It's pretty awesome.
All right.
So,
Oh, yeah, so
you were saying about the after
Yeah,
credits.
what did you like, Jamie?
Okay.
I need to leave because I don't want to spoil this one now.
So,
That's okay, I'm
for
not
those of
gonna-
us who have seen the entire movie,
I'm not gonna. All right, moving on. I also enjoyed the awkward tension between Bucky and
Falcon.
Falcon.
Oh yeah, they're all
Lucky.
vying
It's
to
so
be
funny.
Steve's best friend. It's great.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
The
like-
old
he's like-
sidekick and the
God.
new
He's
sidekick.
like, I'm his best friend. No, I'm his best
And then
friend.
Iron Man's just like, all right, bye.
Yeah. He's like,
Huh.
I guess you already have 2 best friends. See ya.
We can't all be best friends.
They were
not true.
They were surprisingly hilarious together. Like
So-
sitting in the car together.
That was
can
one of
you,
my favorite
Can you
parts.
please move your seat up?
No.
Guys, that's bullet point number 5. Stick
Oh,
to the
my
script.
bad. Jumping
So,
ahead.
let's go over some box office numbers for this. Right now, we are domestically at $200 million for this film. Basically, at the pace it's going at, it's at 206. That is faster than The Dark Knight, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, and Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. It is only behind, in terms of how quick it got to 200, Age of Ultron, The Force Awakens, Jurassic World, and the original Avengers. Pretty impressive.
Yeah,
So this-
very.
It's not like BVS where we're like,
I mean, I don't think it's impressive just because Marvel's got their stuff together. Like they're
Like you expect it to be that good.
yeah.
Mhm.
They've
it-
just been pumping out movies like crazy.
yeah, if you include Star Wars in that, I mean, my goodness, they've got
Yeah.
a lot going on. And then their affiliates like Fox and Sony and
Did you really just find a way to tie Star Wars into a Marvel movie?
Of course.
Spider-Man
Just
did,
like Spider-Man.
Nick, so suck it.
I'm just saying.
Fifth biggest 5-day total in terms of what they've brought in so far. Again, Force Awakens, $325 million. That's a lot more than this, Nick.
I'm not critiquing. I'm just impressed.
Thank
to
you.
Be honest.
Me too. Jurassic World, Avengers, and Ultron again. So worldwide, where do we stand?
700.
737 right now.
737
as of 6 hours ago from Forbes.com. Other comparable movies. Well, you know what? Actually, in the MCU, it has already earned more money than all of them except for 4, and we're only a few days in. So at the time of this came out just about 6 days ago. Avengers finished at $1.5 billion. Ultron finished at 1.4. Iron Man 2 at 1.2. And Guardians at $773 million. So it's only got those movies to jump. That's freaking impressive. It is estimated by Forbes also to hit $1 billion by Sunday evening.
Yeah.
These numbers are ridiculous. It brings warmth to your heart. You and I had a good conversation the other day. Nick, someone get a tissue, please.
Expect someone to get one out of their pocket or something.
So Nick, growing up with these comic books really is your bread and butter. Now you're seeing these on the big screen, and Geek is in. We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
This means a lot.
Yeah, this is a great time for our people. We were long oppressed, and now the world is seeing our greatness.
They will make fun of us no more. Another thing I wanted to mention. First of all, does anybody have the Batman versus Superman as a better movie than this, in their opinion?
I was gonna say, get the hell out.
That have to be a joke.
I half expected Gene.
I didn't even see it.
Okay.
3 hours of your life you won't get back.
Yeah.
So
I'll red box that one. I ain't gonna pay.
I liked it for what it was. That's not saying much. Batman versus Superman currently sits at $862.9 million. There's not much steam left in that one.
Yeah,
that's not going to hit $1 billion.
There was no way that a Captain America movie should have outgrossed Batman and Superman together,
that's
and
worldwide?
that's where we're going.
It's worldwide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
As we speak.
I
So
got
I don't
really
even. It's
scared
not
for a
even in
second.
theaters around here anymore.
in 6 days, Captain America has gotten to 737. You and I had a bit of a disagreement. I said it would just skate by Man of Steel, which finished at 668. You said it would blow by it. I think this is middle ground, if not. I don't think it's blowing by in terms of Man of Steel here.
Yeah, I think we can say that's middle ground.
I mean, that is probably a loss.
I'm almost positive I read somewhere that they wanted something like anything less than $1 billion would be considered a disappointment. I mean, its budget was what, $250 million, but that doesn't. Okay, that
Well,
doesn't.
you got to factor in marketing, which they don't.
I was
include,
about to
so.
say that before you interrupted me, but yeah, that's
Sorry.
Holy
Keep
crap.
your mouth shut unless you're
Well.
spoken to, Mr.
Wow.
Stark.
comic book boy over here.
Okay,
So much-
okay, but
He's a comic
Wait,
book
wait.
man.
You're wearing the cap shirt.
Yeah, so
all right?
maybe I should be
I'm
talking,
dressed
not
like an
you.
adult. I'm a big boy. I got an
So
Iron
I
Man
should
tag
have
with
all
like
the
a adult.
You're holding an Iron Man stuffed thing there.
Leave me alone.
It's
He's
not
my
an animal.
friend.
Okay, so now time to go through the bullet points. Cap versus Iron Man. Let me say, did anyone? It seems like the prevailing majority is everyone took Cap's side here. Did anyone feel sympathy for Stark here?
Boo!
I can't-
sympathy for
Boo!
Stark.
I felt sorry for him.
Stark was maybe more interesting and had more complexity in this movie than any other movie except for like the first Iron Man. He has had so many sympathetic struggles going on. There was so much more for Robert Downey Jr. to do with this, with the way he was written in this. I definitely felt sympathy for him, and I think that they really did succeed surprisingly in having there be not so clear of an answer between whether or not Cap is right or Tony is right. I thought they represented those quite well, even though I am Team Cap in the end. I did have
But
sympathy.
it doesn't seem black and white at
The
all.
only person-
No.
And this is gonna surprise you. The only person I felt 1 ounce of sympathy for was Scarlet Witch.
Yes. Well, no.
Yeah,
I
she
felt
was-
she was
sad for
heartbreaking.
everyone.
Yeah.
With her struggle, that was the only person I felt any ounce of sympathy for.
She's a true middle ground between
I
the two
was
of them.
team Stark the whole time. Honestly.
Okay. Elaborate.
Because.
Well, you saw the video, and I clearly, just charmed him.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Yeah, tell me about that. What's the?
Oh God! It's like he's breathing down your shoulder.
You don't like him right here.
Stark, but you're holding Captain America.
That's what I'm saying.
Interesting.
Yeah, you need to trade.
Treaties.
Well, anyways, yeah, I don't know. Like, just for me, it kind of makes more sense that like superheroes would need to register in order to like see what exactly they're doing. I mean, I can understand Captain America's point of view of like not registering because of what has gone on with Hydra and even just like the regular U.S. government, just like having too much overreach into the public. But like,
This is a class, Gene. This is
There
a
are
class.
points that they made that we made.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
Again,
Oh,
Sam.
noticed that.
I feel like they skated over the whole Hydra thing, though. It was the whole eulogy that Sharon, right? Sharon Carter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That she gave during Peggy's funeral that I felt like struck. Like, he was like, oh, right, I should remain firm with my beliefs and not, just sign the Accords. I felt like they kind of skated over that, like, Hydra infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. and they could do it again if they wanted to with the Accords.
Well, the thing is, the Accords
Okay.
were 117 different governments involved.
Right.
Hydra was infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D., which was one massive organization. These 117 governments keeping each other in check makes it a lot harder for them to be compromised like that.
Okay.
And when you've got
Like-
weapons of mass destruction walking around, you got to be a little concerned.
Sam.
Oh no, I was just wondering
Okay.
why you were talking to him and not to me.
Yeah.
You just can't see my eyes going this way because they're right here.
I'm uncomfortable.
So I was completely middle ground with the whole thing.
I was too for a lot
I
of it.
sided with Stark because I agreed that there needs to be some form of like oversight as to what they're doing. But then I also agreed with Cap when he said that, basically, how the governments are. They're going to send us to fight people that, we don't want to, that we consider allies. And then when something disastrous is going on, if it doesn't benefit them, they're not going to send us to help. So I agreed with that, but I also agreed that there needed to be some form of oversight.
So I can respect both sides of this. I will say, backtracking a little bit, I said I was middle ground. I leaned Captain just about the whole way. I thought, these guys don't need to register. That's BS. So they're going to have a little console every time, there's a worldwide disaster. No, they need to be there like that. So I kind of, as much as I adore the character that Tony Stark is in these films, I felt, and I also adore Rogers. I think he's awesome. I leaned Cap. The middle ground came for me towards the end of the film when Zemo shows the video, and I said Stark has every right to kick Bucky's ass. I don't care if it wasn't technically Bucky. And I felt like I was watching that myself. Like, I couldn't believe how they captured that emotion.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how they did that. And that was something that Batman vs. Superman didn't come close to. They just were... The build-up with them was terrible, and then the kiss and make up was terrible.
Oh, your mom's name's Martha too? Come here,
We're best
buddy.
friends now! Yes, it was terrible.
Did we just become best friends?
Yeah.
I said that in their
I was gonna
video.
laugh really hard if Stark's mom's name and Cap's name, like mom's name, is the same thing.
They did talk about their both their
then they-
moms, and I'm like, don't you dare.
Yeah. I was gonna be like
That
kind of
would-
mad, but at the same time, I would have laughed really hard.
That'd been hilarious. They were just high-fiving. Yeah.
I just made some joke about BVS in this movie.
BVS sucks! So, I went to see this Friday evening with Jamie, Trevor, and Pawlak. Pawlak, on the way out, you were saying Stark was definitely wrong. I want to wrap up things here for part one. If you've seen any of our Spoilercast, we like to chat a little bit. You stood Captain America. Why?
Stark says himself, I was wrong. He says at one point himself that he screwed up.
Even at the end of this movie, as these two have split up after that duel, you still stand Captain America.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
I mean, Cap tries to reason with Tony at the airport. He tries to tell him that Bucky, didn't do this. He didn't set that bomb off at the big meeting. And for whatever reason, Tony becomes a petulant little child and just completely blows him off. Tony, who has seen all these crazy supervillains, all these crazy supernatural forces and powers and characters since becoming an Avenger, cannot even remotely entertain the idea that Bucky was framed. I just don't buy it for a second. He was just way too stubborn to be believable.
I might argue that Stark was a little... So he seems a little bit more susceptible to emotional struggles, believe it or not, despite that persona. From Avengers, him almost dying, towards the end of that, Iron Man 3, he's battling that the entire time. You see a little bit of it with Ultron, his struggles throughout that. It's not as prominent, but that's my thought there. It's not justifying it, by the way. It's just I think that's what it is with the character.
One of the things that I really liked was the complete turnaround from who Tony and Cap were in their original movies. Cap was all, government this, government that. I fight for the United States. I will follow any order that is given to me. And Stark was all, I'm Iron Man. I'm going to do what I want to do. No, you can't have the tech to my suit. And it seems like they completely reversed.
There's incredible depth to these characters.
With Cap, I don't agree with the government, and Tony saying no, we need to.
I think there's really interesting because that speaks to Stark and Rogers' character dynamics, but also Stark does have an arc. He changes, like you said, he changes his mind very much, but Steve really, he kind of maintains his character and he kind of weathers what's going on around him, and I feel like the world has changed, and that's what caused him to be on opposite sides, where it's what you're saying is right. It's just really interesting to see how that happens, because their character, they don't have a similar arc or anything. They have the nature of their characters is really different, so it's really interesting. Yeah.
I did want to say something just in response to, because I get what you're saying with, the idea that Iron Man was willing to entertain that Bucky was brainwashed. He never said he wasn't willing to think about it. He wanted to bring him in and have him tried. And a trial is necessary if you've done these things, even if to prove that you weren't responsible. That's what it comes down to. He wasn't trying to kill him. He was like, you got to come with us.
He threw a couple shots that definitely had the danger of maiming, debilitating, crippling.
If they didn't kill Falcon, at the end, yeah.
No. In the airport, even.
In the airport scene, they weren't killing anyone.
These allies who have Falcon. You have these allies who have, weeks beforehand would have been willing to die for one another. Now, darn near trying to kill each other because Tony couldn't spend 20 seconds listening to Cap's explanation on what happened.
See, I never got that sense. Let's hold that thought. We need to wrap up.
Not buying it.
Pete? Are you here? That was totally Pete.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Adam was cringing in the corner. Speechless right now. We are going to continue this on probably part 2 and part 3. Well, definitely part 2, but maybe part 3. So for this merry band of geeks, I'm Josiah. Thanks for watching. Catch us in part 2.
Hands.
The Argonaut?
The Argonaut, yes. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And then once you pass that, you get into a world called 4chan, which I'm not expecting anyone.
Oh, God. No. No, for the love of God, no.
So, what happens to Josiah now that he's in there? Does he start paying for everything in Bitcoin?
Not yet.
No, his skin is going to slowly
It's called
turn.
karma.
It's called karma.
There is. Basically, you're only allowed to post so often unless your karma increases, which equates to up arrows or likes on Facebook.
Or comments.
Or comments.
Comments.